Rev it up and welcome to Cars Yeah, show number 1239. I'm celebrating Women's History Month this March by having 21 inspiring automotive enthusiasts who are women here on Cars Yeah. These are the movers and shakers who work in the automotive industry, and today I talk with the Queen of Speed.
Believe in yourself and live your dreams. Go out there and just do it.
This is Cars Yeah, where you'll enjoy interviews with inspiring automotive enthusiasts. Mark Green is here to provide you with a fuel injection of automotive inspiration. So get in, sit down, buckle up, and get ready for a wild ride here on Cars Yeah.
Hey, this is Mark Green. Join me at the Classic Auto Show in Costa Mesa, California, this March 16th and 17th at the Orange County Fair and Events Center. I'll be the celebrity stage MC conducting live interviews with past Cars Yeah guests, including Adam Carolla, the Grand Marshal, Dave Kindig from Bitchin' Rides, Wayne Carini from Chasing Classic Cars, Mark Warman from Graveyard Cars, Mike Finnegan from Roadkill, Bogey from All Girls Garage, Big Mike, Import Tuner and Builder, and Lyn St. James, an iconic race car driver. I hope I'll see you at the Classic Auto Show. For more information, go to theclassicautoshow.com. That's theclassicautoshow.com. Hello, automotive and motorcycle enthusiasts. I'm revved up and so excited to introduce today's very special guest, calling in from Paradise Valley, Arizona, Valerie Thompson. Valerie, are you buckled up and ready for a fun ride? Or should I say, do you have your helmet on and gloves and boots?
Well, I wish I had my gloves and boots on, and I wish I was going over 300 miles per hour right now, but I'm not. But I'm buckled in. I'm ready to go.
I'll do my best to make it fast and fun here. Valerie Thompson is the team owner and driver at Valerie Thompson Racing. She is the first female motorcycle rider to go over 300 miles per hour, earning her the title of the world's fastest female motorcycle racer. She posted her best top speed of 328 miles per hour in 2018 at the DLRA Speed Week competition in Southern Australia, piloting Dennis Manning's Team No. 7 Racing Streamliner. Valerie is an 8-time Lyn Speed record holder with membership in 7 different 200-mile-per-hour clubs, 1 300-mile-per-hour club, and she's a lifetime member of the famed Bonneville 200-mile-per-hour club. She was inducted into the Sturgis Motorcycle Hall of Fame in 2018. Valerie's current quest is to become the world's fastest motorcycle racer, is subject of a P51 Pictures and MN8 Films upcoming featured documentary, Rockets and Titans. Her many racing accomplishments have earned Valerie the moniker America's Queen of Speed. And a shout out to past Cars Yeah guest for introducing to me to Valerie, a very fast racer in her own rights, the great Lyn St. James. So Valerie, I've told our listeners just a little bit about you. Would you take a brief moment, share a little more about your career and a very obvious passion for riding bikes really fast?
Uh-oh. Well, my journey has become a way of my life, and the way of my life has become my lifestyle. And my lifestyle is now going over 300 miles per hour, and nothing's going to slow us down, even though we crashed at 363 miles per hour while we were in Australia, after we set the record of 328 miles per hour. But we are rebuilding our equipment, our race bike, and we're going to go back out there and try to attempt the land speed record, which is 376 miles per hour.
Holy cow.
Is that a mouthful or what?
I'm trying to wrap my head around some of this, but crashing at 360 plus miles an hour is where you kind of got me. I can't even begin to imagine, but we're going to learn a lot more about you and this incredible fast journey through life that you're taking as we start our conversation here. But I always like to start by asking my guests for a success quote or a mantra. This is a nice way to get the inspirational tires turning here on Cars Yeah. So, Valerie, grab the handlebars.
Well, I say the best courage anyone can have it's really courage. The best form of courage is, to believe in yourself and live your dreams. Go out there and just do it.
Right. Well, obviously there's a lot more than just being brave and having courage to getting on a bike and going the speeds that you're going. But is that kind of the first step to tell yourself, okay, I can do this? And then, of course, The equipment's got to be right. The situation's got to be right. I mean, you obviously have a team around you that helps you do the things that you do, but you really feel that is courage, is that the first step to tell yourself, I can do this?
Well, in my case, I have worked my way into the speed. I've been, I set a land speed record, which was my first with Keith Ball at bikernet.com. His bike, I went 143 miles per hour. So I've really come a long way to even get the courage to go over and saying, I want to go this fast. Yeah. All along, I've been telling my husband that I would retire when I go 200. If we could just go 200, I'll retire. Well, then I went to 300. And now I tell him, if I go 400, I'll retire. I promise.
I think there's a trend here.
It takes a lot of courage just to tell your husband what you want to do.
Well, I can only imagine him rolling his eyes going, okay, where's this going? It's just going to keep getting faster and faster and faster. My next question here ties into a story that instigated this passion you have for motorcycles and going fast. I mean, if you look back in time, do you know or can you remember a pivotal moment when you said, you know what, I'm going to ride bikes during my life and I'm going to ride them really fast?
Yeah, it was when somebody told me, a friend of mine, that I was racing out of control. I was riding my bike out of control to take it to the race bike. And that's what started my whole entire career.
So this started.
That was a pivotal moment.
Yeah. Well, how old were you back then?
I was in my late 30s. So,
what?
I'm 51 right now, and I'm still doing it. I'm like a fine wine. The older I am, I keep getting better.
Oh my gosh. Well, first and foremost, I didn't know that's the age you were. Now, this puts a whole nother dynamic on things because, you think of high-speed racing as a young man, young woman sport, something that young people do. They're daring, and it's that time of their life. But, oh my gosh, lady, you're incredible. I mean, you just blew my socks off when you rode by me at 300 miles an hour. That's for sure. This is absolutely incredible. Are you the eldest woman riding a bike this fast?
Well, I mean, we've got Gloria. She's, in her 80s, 90s. She's, riding her motorcycle. But I'm not saying she's not a racer, but, she still rides, I believe.
Yeah.
But I'll say maybe racer as a female-wise, that is going for 300 miles per hour. I'll say yeah, confidently.
I think so. Oh my gosh. Well, my level of respect for you was already extremely high, but it just moved up a few notches. That's for sure. I'm just going, oh my goodness, Valerie, you are amazing. Well, let's take a look at your life a little bit here and talk about a big challenge or a big failure. You've chosen to achieve some levels of speed that are just mind-boggling to the normal person like myself. Obviously, throughout this journey of a quest for speed, 100, 200, 300, now 400, you've met up with some challenges, maybe a failure. You talked about a big crash. Walk us through one of those experiences and tell us, more importantly than what happened to you at the time, but what it taught you so that you could learn more and go faster the next time.
The last time I was racing was in Australia, which was in March of 2018, when I went 328 miles per hour. I was only in third gear, running only 30 cylinders. My cockpit top door came unlatched, and my computer system was flashing. My shift light fell down, so I really technically wasn't aware of what gear I am in. And I only have 4 gears. So when I went 328 miles per hour, I got out of the bike and I went right down to the ground, and I said, thank God I'm alive. Thank God I just pulled through that. That was one of my scariest moments. And when I learned from all that, is we were very prepared. We were ready, and we were waiting for the wind to die down because we don't race that motorcycle more than 3 miles per hour of wind in any direction. So it's very difficult for us to even go out there. We just have to be patient for the wind with Mother Nature. And I walked away from that and I said, I can do this. I can go faster. We went back and we fixed everything that we needed to. And then that's when the crash happened. We went right back out there and we haven't been able to recover. I wasn't able to recover my crash, that's for sure.
Yeah. What happened? Do you know what caused that crash?
Yes, it was. We had a gust of wind, and the team has gone through the motorbike with a fine comb tooth, and they could not find anything wrong. They couldn't find if I would. I mean, they saw that I was going straighter than an arrow. They saw that I wasn't off the throttle, on the throttle. I was full throttle. Actually, I was still full throttle when it was up in the air. I didn't even know it.
Oh my
I was
gosh.
still on the throttle.
So just well, at those speeds, obviously there's so many factors that can create a problem, but just a little bit too much wind is enough to does it get under the bike, or does it push it on the side, or what unsettles those tires from being on the surface?
Well, you're cutting through the air just like a piece of glass. I mean, it's just so everything matters. There's no room for an error in the wind, in the driver, in the bike preparation. There's just no room for errors. The smallest thing that you can do, bad things can happen.
Yeah, exactly. Wow. Oh my gosh. Well, we're glad obviously you're here to ride again. Just incredible story. Horribly frightening, but I guess when it happens, it just happens, and all of a sudden the dust settles and you go, I'm still here. Like you say, you kiss the ground and say, thank you for letting me do this again. Yeah, wow. That is frightening. Well, let's talk about your first really special bike. That first bike that you rode, perhaps it was a motorcycle that you went really fast on that really has great meaning for you, and share a memory or two you have about that ride.
Well, I have to say it was my first bike had to have been my very first bike that I ever rode, which was a 1999 Sportster. And unfortunately, I sold it 3 months later, and I wanted a bigger and a faster bike. But that was really the startup of who Valerie was. I didn't know that it had the DNA to race. I didn't know that it's not in our family genes, but it's in my mother's genes, that's for sure. But that's my special bike. The second special bike I have, which is the bike that I learned how to race on. And so that's what put my career up on top. That has to be my first bike, and my very first bike I got. I wish to God that I could find that guy that I sold the bike to, because he had to have been about 6'7", and he rode on my Sportster, and he rode it away after he paid me. And I said, oh God, that guy is so funny looking on that little bike. He goes, is that what I look like? I was like, here, I'm getting a fat boy. And he's on a Sportster, and he's so tall. I was like, he's tall and skinny. I said, only if you knew now who I am.
Exactly. Well, is that your Seller's Remorse story? Is that the bike you really wish you had back?
I guess that was probably my bike that I really had back. I guess that would be my Seller's Remorse.
Yeah.
I didn't know I had one until now.
It reminds me of a Porsche convertible cabriolet I sold back when I lived in San Diego. And the guy that bought it from me was a San Diego Charger football player. And he was so big that the car had sports seats, which has big bolsters. He couldn't get down into the seat because he wasn't a fat guy. He was just a big football player. And his head stuck up above the windshield. So he had to put the top down to drive the car off. And as he drove out of my driveway, I just laughing going, I don't think that's going to last very long. That guy's not going to be very comfortable.
That's kind of what I was saying when this, that don't work out. That's not going to work out.
Not at all. Oh my gosh. Well, what has you excited and fired up in the new year here, Valerie, with your racing?
We've taken a step back since the crash, and we're just going to rebuild this new and great and faster machine. So we're going to go back out there and just do it again. We're going to go out there and test later this year at the Bonneville Salt Flats, and the team's all fired up, and we're going to go back out there. I'm going to ride like a girl.
Well, the picture you sent me of you with a red bike, is that the bike we're talking about?
Yes, that is.
So describe to our listeners now, if you go to Valerie's show notes page in the Cars Yeah website, you'll see a picture of this. This is unlike any motorcycle you've ever seen. It's quite spectacular. Could you kind of describe to our listeners some of the details about this bike, the length, what's powering it, how you get into it? Because it's basically like a big bullet, is the way I can describe it.
Absolutely. It's a 25-foot in length streamliner motorcycle. It has 3 parachutes. It weighs about 1,600 pounds. The height is about 32 inches. The width is about 22. It's built by carbon fiber frame, Monaco frame, and I have 3 parachutes. One at the high speed, and I have a main reserve, and then I have the ultimate parachute, which will be like the oh shoot parachute.
Yes. Or oh help me God parachute.
Oh help me parachute.
Yeah, exactly. Wow.
It's also it's a 3,000 cc, 4 cylinders, and it's all built and it's by our team.
Cool.
And it's also inspired by a coho fish. So if you look at a coho salmon, I had to Google coho salmon when I first learned that this bike was built like a coho salmon, because it was one of the fastest fishes in the water. And on land, you equal the fish that's in water to the land. And I guess the guy said, it'll go 400. And Dennis Manning, the creator, along with John Jans and Joel Harrelson, they said, oh my gosh, that's it. That's the bike. That's how we're going to build it.
The coho salmon. Well, it's interesting because, I live up in the Pacific Northwest. You used to live up here as well. And so you know all about coho salmon. I mean, we have the best salmon in the world up here. Love salmon. But that's a pretty interesting analogy to going fast. I know fish are fast, but, when you get up to those speeds, you are really fighting the resistance of the air, aren't you?
Correct. Our coefficient to drag is 0.08, which is really, really good.
Yeah, that's incredible. Wow. Well, again, listeners, check out Valerie's show notes page on the Car Show website. You'll see the bike we're talking about. Basically, you take the canopy off. It's like a fighter jet. You climb inside this thing. Do you strap in it anyway? Are you attached to the inside of the bike? You are. Okay.
I'm strapped in. Yeah, I have a 5-prong strap, and my legs, my arms, so my arms don't wiggle away. They did tell me that the first thing you do if you crash is to take your arms and put them towards your body and hold them tight there. And that's really true to anything. Like if I was in a car, instead of fighting the wheel on the on the car, take your hands away if you're in a crash. Like just take them all away, because there's nothing you can do. It's like NASCAR. They'll take their hands and pull it away. It'll save your arms and your wrists and other broken damages. And that way you keep your body. And that's exactly what I did.
When I learned how to race cars in vintage racing, I raced an open wheel car. And I remember instructors saying, if you're ever going to crash, you're going to hit something, take your hands off the steering wheel. Don't grip it, because it'll break your thumbs and maybe your wrists and maybe your arms when you hit a wall, because you'll never be able to hold that steering wheel still. So it's interesting, the same on a motorcycle, but at those speeds, I can't even imagine. So, oh my gosh, very, very, very cool. Well, we are very excited. Do you think you'll be back racing again this year, or will it be next year?
Yes, we're going to go to Bonneville this year, late August, September. Try to do some private time, some land speeds, and just try to get acclimated, get the team back on the track, and get everything all loosened up and tightened up. And for me to get back in it, I'm working on myself to develop so I don't have a fear for being back in there. And so I'm working on myself for that. And so we're just going to use this year for a test. Hey, if we go fast and the salt is really right, then, there's no stopping. We can do it. Everything was right. But if not, then what we're going to do is we're going to go back to Australia, and we're going to redeem ourselves, because those Australians, they loved us when we went out there. And some people even stood extra days just to watch us run. And it was truly an amazing greeting. And the Dry Lakes Racers Association, they just had nothing but good things. And they were so much fun to work with. And all the people there were great. So we can't wait to go back.
It's fantastic down there. I've had 2 high-speed racers on bikes that have raced and set records down there, Ben Felton and Dan Parker.
Yes, I remember him. I met him when I was there last time. Yeah.
Oh, and you do. Very cool. Yeah. Well, listeners, if you did not listen to Ben's show, you've got to, because there's something very unique about Ben setting a land speed record on a bike. He's blind.
Yeah.
Absolutely
incredible to his run.
Absolutely incredible. And of course, I've had the great Danny Thompson here on the show. I know he's in a more of a vehicle than a motorcycle, but another land speed record.
You never know. I might switch to 4 wheels.
Yeah. Well,
Hey,
when you get up there in your 90s and you get to be older, maybe that's the time you add a couple of wheels.
I don't know if they're going to hire me then.
Well, I have no doubt you'll still be around going fast somehow, Valerie. Well, up next is the last lap. Before we put the pedal to the metal, let's say thank you to today's Cars Yeah sponsors. Do you know the best way to protect your vehicle, both the exterior and the interior, is with a car cover? I've been using Covercraft car covers since 1975. That's right, 1975. It's a fast, easy, and inexpensive way to keep your vehicle looking new. Covercraft has been manufacturing premium quality exterior and interior covers for over 50 years with a stellar reputation for durability and design. They're the world's largest manufacturer of custom patterned vehicle covers that are crafted to fit over 80,000 patterns and growing. They are the only cover I'll put on my vehicles. You can choose from a wide variety of fabrics, styles, colors, and more. From full cover designs for factory to custom-made vehicles, plus convertible top covers, trucks, truck cab coolers, motorcycles, scooters, ATVs, trailers, campers, personal watercraft, and a wide variety of custom features. Covercraft is the right choice. Learn more today at covercraft.com and tell them Mark sent you. That's covercraft.com. Are you looking for a way to get your products or services into the ears of thousands of automotive enthusiasts around the globe? I can help. This is Mark Green here at Cars Yeah, and I'd be honored to be an influencer and ambassador for your brand in a unique and personal way. 5 days a week, thousands of subscribers and listeners enjoy the Cars Yeah podcast and website. Contact me today and I'll show you how at mark@carsyeah.com or connect with me through the Cars Yeah website at carsyeah.com. Hey, Mark Green here from the Cars Yeah podcast. Did you know you can now see me on the Cars Yeah TV show? That's right. Cars Yeah is now on MAV TV. I visit some of the past Cars Yeah guests and take you along for the ride. Go to mavtv.com to learn more where you can enjoy Cars Yeah TV. MAV TV is also available on DirecTV, Fubo TV, Fios by Verizon, or you can stream it through mavtv.com online. And they said I only had a face for podcasting. All right, Valerie, I have a very introspective question for you. If you woke up tomorrow and you were manifested into a motorcycle or a car or a truck, I don't know what it might be, what would Valerie be and why?
I would have to say is a Bentley.
A Bentley. All right. Yeah. Very nice. And why a Bentley?
Only because I have one, but I really love the Bentley. It's sleek. It's like smooth and it's fast. And it just feels like I'm one with the car.
There you go. And that's
my husband how to drive it.
I'm sure that goes over as well as when you tell him you want to go 400 miles an hour. So
it doesn't.
No, it does. Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm a man. I get it. I understand. So, wow.
I'm not into older bikes. I'm not into older. I like that car. It's my favorite car in the whole entire world.
Yeah, well, what's not to like with a Bentley? My goodness. All right, Valerie, we're entering the last lap, or in your case, the last run. I'm going to fire off a series of questions and ask you to give our listeners some very quick blips of the throttle answers, or twists of the wrists, I should say. So you ready?
Okay.
All right. What's the best motorcycle advice you've ever received?
Well, I hate it when they say don't break a leg, because that's like a curse.
Oh, it's well, you think about a stage name. My wife says that every morning before she leaves when she knows I have shows to record. She always says break a leg. I think that's a good luck comment, the way I like to like it or hear it. But so we'll go with that. Break a leg. Yeah, just don't do it literally. It's all figurative. Right. So, yeah, absolutely. Would you share one of your personal habits you believe has helped contribute to your many successes?
I would say being superstitious.
So what are your superstitions before you go out and set a speed record?
Well, I do the same thing over and over. I put on the same socks, the same gloves, the same pant leg of my race suit. Everything is the same.
Ah, yes. It creates a comfort. You know, I've known some race car drivers, they'll only get in the car from one specific side. Yeah. When I'm talking about single-seater, F1 drivers, yeah, same thing. Kind of like getting on a horse.
Right.
on the bike. Yeah, there you go. Now, how about a resource? There are lots of great resources for us these days. Is there one that you would like to share that is a go-to for you?
I have used Google from day one because when I didn't know what a sponsorship package was, I Googled it, and I have been living with Google all my life since I've been racing.
There you go. Yep, you can find out pretty much anything on Google.
They said, hey, Valerie, you need a sponsorship package. I said, well, what's that?
Google it.
I was 13 years in the banking world. I didn't know anything about, a male-dominant sport. I was like, what is that? Okay, I'll look that up.
There you go. Well, the great thing about today is we do have that access to all sorts of things. There are no more excuses for not knowing things. There's just so much out there. If I could arrange for you to sit down and have a nice drink with anyone in the automotive or motorcycle field, racing, whatever it might be, living or deceased, who would it be?
Probably Michael Schumacher.
Yeah, I think a lot of us would love to sit down and talk with Mike. Our wishes go out to him as he struggles back from just a crazy accident on the ski slopes. It's hard to imagine all the racing he did, and it was a rock on a ski slope that created such a catastrophe for him. So our thoughts are out to him and his family. Now, how about a book? Is there a book that you've read you think our listeners would enjoy?
The World's Fastest Indian by Anthony Hopkins.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, the movie too, but great movie, great book. I mean, amazing story. I've thought about him quite a bit through this conversation. I wondered if he would come up. A guy that's just never gave up, went out there and did some wild and crazy things. So, that's great. Maybe someday we'll see a movie about Valerie Thompson. That's a question I'll have for you.
We already have one in the process coming out this year.
Well, that was my segue into you talking about that, because I'd love to hear a little bit more about that and when we might expect to see it.
Yes, absolutely. Well, we have a movie coming out this year. The name of it is called Rocket and Titan. And it's just like a movie, but it's going to be better, like the movie The World's Fastest Indian. He didn't give up. We're not giving up. And that's where we are. We just have the passion.
Awesome.
My passion for the speed is something very few get to experience in their lifetime. And this is a movie that everybody will experience, and they walk away with it and like, OMG.
All right. Very cool. Can't wait for that to come out. You make sure you email me when that's available so I can share that with my listeners. And listeners, you'll find links to all these great resources Valerie has shared with us today on our Cars Yeah website. Just go to carsyeah.com, type in Valerie Thompson, and her page will pop right up. All right, Valerie, we're up to the checkered flag, and this last question can be a bit of a doozy. Today, I'm going to buy you a very cool collector motorcycle or car. Doesn't matter what it is. I'm going to park it in your garage. You can keep your Bentley, though. Nice daily driver. That's fine. This needs to be something special, unique. But there's a couple rules to this game. One is, it's the only collector vehicle you can have, motorcycle, car, or truck. You have to drive it or ride it and enjoy it. No garage queens allowed here at Cars Yeah. And you can't sell it to buy a bunch of other toys with, so you're stuck with it, so make a good decision.
I would have to say a Harley-Davidson Fat Boy.
Oh, okay. That's cool. What do you like about a Harley-Davidson Fat Boy?
Because that was my second bike I ever had, and it was my bike that I learned how to drag race on.
There you go. Bring back a little of that youthful history in your life and go out there and have some fun. Nice. Well, I'll get to work. That shouldn't be too hard to find one of those. Is there a particular year that you'd like to have, or is it open to whatever I want to find you?
It would be open to what you would like to find me.
All right. I'll find something cool for you, Valerie. Fast and cool. Valerie, you've taken us on a very fast and fun ride today. I've really enjoyed getting to know you better. I want to thank you for sharing your journey here on Women's History Month at Cars Yeah. Would you give us a little parting piece of wisdom or guidance before you rip off into the sunset in that Harley-Davidson Fat Boy?
Well, the best protection that any woman can have is courage.
Nice. Nicely said. And again, what's the best way for our listeners to follow along with you and what you're doing?
You can follow me at ValerieThompsonRacing.com, and there's many clicks to all my social media, Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter.
All right. I'll make sure I put a link to that on our show notes page. I would encourage you to follow this very fast lady. You'll never be able to keep up, but you can try on her website, social media, the movie that's coming out. My goodness, this is a wonderful year for you, Valerie. A wonderful year for all women in the automotive industry. And you're definitely an inspiration for for those gals out there that want to get out and have some fun on bikes or cars or whatever it is they like to do. Again, listeners, go to Valerie's show notes page, carsyeah.com, Valerie Thompson, and you'll find everything there. Valerie, thanks for being so generous today with your time and expertise and for taking me on a very fast ride. Now I can get off and stop worrying, but you took good care of me. I appreciate that as we hit that 350, almost 400 mile an hour mark. Until you and I talk again, I'll see you out on the salt.
Sounds great. Thank you.
You're welcome. You take care of your cars, but who takes care of your investments? Tune-ups aren't just for engines. Updating your financial plan is important too. Your GPS may take you from A to B, but it won't help you on the road to financial freedom. For that, you need a good co-pilot and a very trusted advisor. Chris Kimball, CFP, is just the man for the job. He'll guide you down that road without driving you crazy. For over 25 years, Chris has helped people just like you and me with their financial planning and investments. With a master's degree in financial services, he is eminently qualified, and he's a car guy too. Learn more at chrisvkimball.com or call 866-ON-A-PLAN. Securities through Money Concepts Capital Corp., member FINRA SIPC. CK Financial Services is not affiliated with Money Concepts Capital Corp.
Thank you so much for joining us on today's ride here at Cars Yeah. Drive on over to carsyeah.com to find show notes and inspiring automotive fun. Download your free copy of Filler Up, a fun book filled with gorgeous photographs of fuel filler fun, including quotes from more inspiring automotive enthusiasts. Download your copy today, and we'll see you next time on Cars Yeah.